Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for today's video. Today I wanted to talk to you about how you know when dealing with the narcissist, all of this started in the spirit realm before it ever ended up in the physical. So let's jump in. When it comes to the narcissist, things will always manifest in the physical, but they start in the spiritual realm first. And how I know that is not only from reading theological texts and dealing with it in my own life, but you do something you regret, you had a plan to do it before you did it. It's kind of like that. If you had a friend and you really liked his jacket, like say you're in elementary school and you really liked his jacket and you were like really into this guy's jacket, you can't afford his jacket, so you're envying this guy over his jacket. Being in elementary school, things like that could really play on you because you can't afford to go out and buy them yourself. So this stuff starts to brew in you. You get jealous and envious and you lust for these items like this jacket. Well, eventually, one day at school, you might beat up that kid and take his jacket, or you steal his jacket. Well, the physical thing that occurred was this guy got beat up and got his jacket stolen and taken from him. He didn't know that was going to happen, but before you did it, it was brewing inside of you to do it. That's where you're dealing with spiritual orchestration in your thoughts, in your mind, and in your aura before would do something like that. Or if you want to speak on creationism, before heavens and earth were here and everything in it, it was spoken first by God in the spirit realm before it manifested in the physical realm. And everything that occurs in the physical always starts in the spiritual realm. And that's why I say with the narcissist, it could have started before we got here. Now, I don't believe in reincarnation, but it does make me have an inkling of thought that for this to be fair and for the early age, these things seem to occur, and possibly the way they were either treated like a golden child. They have these little scenarios in psychology, right, where there's trauma. So let's say, even if that was true, this was first performed as we were all pre-tested in a controlled environment. And in the controlled environment, they were already going haywire, meaning some of us did really well for the Lord, some of us were lukewarm, and some of us were just straight evil right away. And it makes me think of it just even the Garden of Eden. It's like a controlled environment that would have to have the threat of the enemy even being there, or the threat of sin. Like Adam and Eve, they were in a controlled environment in their perfection. And who else was there? The Lord was there, walked in the cool of the day. And who else was there? It says the enemy was a tree in the Garden of Eden, so he was there as well. But I believe for you sin, it is premeditated. And some of it may be what we would consider to some degree unconscious, but it was still controllable at a time before it even came into your conscience, that produced seed to spawn into the sin that occurred in your life or in anybody's life. And I do believe that everything is affected by the spirit realm. That's why we have even sometimes incredibly bad weather. It's due to the sin in the earth and what's really going on first in the spirit before it ever manifests here in the physical realm. And just like the narcissist projects onto you, it's kind of the same thing. We project out also what we believe or what we want. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, and sometimes we're unconscious of it, but still it's a result of everything that makes up who we are. So it depends on things that you do, that you consent to, things that you listen to, and things that you ingest, you think about, and you regurgitate, and consents and covenants that you agree upon all lead up to some of these unconscious things that lead to either badness or goodness in your life. But it's all a product of how you deal with trials and tribulations, what you're thinking and what you consent to, what you agree upon, and how you deal with the tests that come your way. And that is what I believe has happened in every situation. Everything becomes premeditated, even if you don't quite understand its origin. But in the instance of the narcissist, it could have been a predeterminate based on if we were all tested in a controlled environment, similar to something like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Although we don't remember that, but I do think it's possible, and God being outside time could test an individual, for instance, in a matter of seconds. So don't get twisted up on reincarnation and all of that. But what I am saying is what we are, I believe, all birthed from heaven before we're birthed here, because we had to come from the spirit realm first, which means I believe that we were all birthed from or created from God, the Almighty. And if that's the case, then we were all given an innate spirit based on we were probably given all the same innateness, and our will was left up to us. And that's why I believe our will is our spirit man, because without drive, without will, without having drive and heart and passion and motivation, then you can't really be a spirit individual. That's why I believe Christ said that not my will, but your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And he was getting the willfulness from the Almighty. He was asking for his willfulness to be in line, in tune, and to the level that need be, so that he could perform the Almighty's will on earth. And that's exactly what he did. But I feel like that he gave us something to think about, because that's what we ask for too, for God's will to be done in our life, not our own, to not be selfish, but to look to him, and to not be wayward and be drawn off by lusts and the consents of evil in this world system, but to consent only to goodness and righteousness and godliness, to live it, to think it, to eat it, to drink it. That's why we have to fill our vessel with the Lord, or else we'll be sloppy in our thoughts and our mind and our heart in the ways that we operate in this world. And we will consent to the wrong things, we will say and do the wrong things, and we will end up paying for it. And I know there's going to be a lot of individuals that don't agree, but for me, this is the case. And I have a hard time seeing it any other way, because I know the Lord is fair and that he gives us all equal options in some way or another to choose. But at the end of the day, we all have a different will and we have different talents, but we have the same opportunity. And that's where he gives us autonomy and freedom to choose. He doesn't force you to do anything. The enemy does. The enemy is control and power. He wants you locked down. He wants you sick, fighting each other. He wants cameras on you, and he wants to control you and to get you to perform everything evil. He'll force it upon you if you let him, if you give him the opportunity. And you saw that with the narcissist. They're the epitome of what sinfulness can do to you. And so I'm going to leave that with you for today. Hope this helps somebody out there. And if you can give me a like, subscription, thumbs up, love you all. Till next time, peace, be out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.